This evening we're going to talk about hand and finger independence. We're going to take a very simple 5 notes, both hands, and we're just going to start with all 10 fingers, well actually 10 fingers, one at a time. Very simple. It's the most basic of getting all your fingers cooperating with each other. You want to strike a good tone, keep a good tempo. Doesn't have to be fast, it could be even slower. Whatever works for you. Alright, so now the first step in doing some independence is let's just have the hands go in different directions with those 5 notes. So if we put a thumb on middle C, or on the C below middle C, and another thumb on middle C, let's just play 5 consecutive notes. So if we just do the 5, I always say do something 3 to 5 times without making a mistake, and then you have it. You should be able to, cook dinner while doing that, send emails, do a live Twitch stream. It just becomes very, it's ingrained. There's no way you can't do that. All right, so now the first thing that we have to do, one of the first things that we do to achieving independence is different touches. And we have, besides being soft and loud, we have legato, where all the notes are connected, and we're going to just stick with 5 notes. All those notes are connected. Then we have staccato, where the notes are not connected. All right, now some of you might find this just a little harder, but let's try connecting with our right hand and staccato with the left. And then reverse it. Pretty easy, not too difficult. Again, you're utilizing 2 different touches. So, and we're just playing note to note. So we're not doing a lot of rhythmic movement here. We're just, and then swap it out. And then swap it back. So you want to keep mixing that up. Now, as we started out, we played note for note. That's easy. It's easy for some, it's hard for others. Don't get discouraged, it just takes a little bit of time, and you can do both hands very easily. Now, this is going to be our metronome. And we want to play 2 notes to that 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So putting that's usually the best way to start out. One of the things I always tell my students is start by using your if this is your metronome, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just get very comfortable with that. Then just take 2 notes on the piano. I don't care which 2 they are, but let's do G. 1. Let them do exactly what your hands were doing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very easy, right? Hopefully you guys are thinking this is easy, because it is. It's the approach that you take. All right, so now we're going to take these same 5 notes that we've been using, and instead of going, our quarter note is just going to be a series of notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should be able to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's just take one note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you can do that, you're already on your way to independence. Now we're going to assign the same 5 notes, but we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and against the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Now reverse it, where you're going to play against 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so that's like step 1 of acquiring some basic independence. You can apply that to, let's see, if we have, let's just keep, we'll do C as our metronome, 3, 4, and I'm just going to take a C chord and play it twice. You're doing the exact same thing we just did. Let's put some chords with that. Let's take the ever popular 1, 5, 6, 4. So a C to a G to an A minor to an F. All right, now that feels a little stiff. So what we're going to do, instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, when we play this C chord, we're going to take this first note and the last note, which are the root and the fifth, and we're going to put those in our left hand. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do the same thing for the G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 on the A, on the F chord. And now you actually have a bit of a pattern happening. You can take the eighth notes against your quarter notes here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And just keep building it up so you can get some speed on that. So now you see we've just taken this, and now we've created something that sounds actually pretty nice. Now, one of the things I'm doing, remember when we talked about earlier, being able to control dynamics. So what I did was I combined all of that, and each chord, every time I did the 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, I would get louder and louder, so I would build some dynamics. Eventually you start doing, little that comes later. That's on your way. Okay, so now here's a nifty little exercise you can try. With your left hand, take that C chord, C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, and just keep that going. Now, but with your right hand, same 3 notes, but C, G, E, G, C, E, G, against this is playing note to note, but it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that'll get you that, and then you reverse that and go against so that gives us the it gives us another pattern we can do, but it also expands with some dynamic, because I can lean into that next chord. So make it easy on yourself and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm playing on 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. some dynamics. And you should be getting a little more comfortable using that as a pattern where you can have a little more freedom in your right hand. Now, a good way to practice dynamics, if you can play a C scale 1 octave, start out as lightly as you can. And make it grow and then get soft again. And same thing. No. Dynamics are where the real beauty of the music lies, because we don't want to play everything at the same volume. I know some of you have to go in, and when you're working on a song and I have to keep an eye out for where G is. She likes to rest her head on my foot pedal, and I would hate to crush her little tiny skull, which we're not about to do that. So I know a lot of you working in a DAW have to take a pencil and sometimes draw your dynamics, but there's a different thing that kind of happens the more you can play what you're trying to do, because when you're drawing dynamics, you're typically going to draw very correct, very very even lines. We tend not to play evenly. We're human. So just by having a little bit of just taking like a chord and making that chord go from here, from soft to loud, and you notice I'm doing the same thing with my left hand. It's about balance between the two. I could do it the other way around. Play it loud and then soft. I kind of like to build it up a little better. That's what's going to really bring the song to life. Let's kind of recap a little bit. We started by playing just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And against that, we're going to play more quarter notes. So we'll duplicate. Then we want to do eighth notes. So, and a lot of times, as I stated earlier, before you even touch the piano, you got drums right here on your thighs or your chest, however you want to do it. But like, this will be the metronome, and then 1, 2, just hands together. Then you take that to the piano and just do it with one note. Reverse hands. Then you want to do 2 against 1. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 3 and 4. And then reverse that. Here's your metronome. And then you move that to the, or reverse it. And then you put it to the 5 notes. Or reverse it. Night. Then you can just speed it up. Always work with a metronome. A metronome will point out all your flaws, but that's a good thing. You get to see where your strengths and your weaknesses actually are. Then we talked about doing, by taking that eighth note against the one, taking the root and fifth of a chord. Here's your metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can move your chord around a little bit. You're just playing these two notes against the one. And then you can start getting a little fancier with it, whatever you want to do. So this is all very level one kind of hand independence things. One of the things, if you're a little more advanced, if you take root 5, 3 in your left hand, and then play a scale, start out with note on note. Then go to the 2. You can go as high as you want, but you should, and if you know a lot of scales, do this exercise in all of them. So like if I take it to E flat, root 5, 3, or root 5, 10, because I'm an octave above the root. It's a great way to kind of practice your scales, but make them a little more musical at the same time. Because scales are important. They're not the most fun things in the world to play, but they are important. They'll make you a better player in the long run. Dynamics, touch, that's very important that you do the one hand staccato, one legato. You want both of those hands to be able to do all kinds of stuff. I consider dynamics probably the most important thing to, the most important element to anyone's playing is to be able to control dynamics. If, like me, I typically have to have a bass player on a gig. I don't call myself a solo pianist. If you're singing, I can comp for you, and I can do things like that. But I like to have a bass player, so my left hand can worry about how I'm going to voice chords, what rhythms I'm going to play those chords in, and then of course the dynamics. Like if you recall a song from the 70s, Lionel Richie, Commodores, Easy. Well, this time around, they used a dynamic. See, and if he'd have just gone, wouldn't have had the same impact, but just having that, making that grow. So you always want your music to grow. You want it to breathe. It should even have some elasticity to it. We do not play specifically in time. That's not to say you should be so loose with your time that you don't want to. No, that's not being loose. That's you're just falling apart at that point. But you want to have a consistent nature, but where it ebbs and flows. It's like the ocean. The waves don't always come in at the same tempo and the same height. They ebb and they flow. So you want to create some of that. And hand independence can do that for you. Dynamics can do that for you. Everything about your playing, but the main thing is being mindful of it. Being very aware of what you're doing, when you're doing it, and how you're doing it. It can make or break how you form a piece of music. You have all these different options that are available to you. I hope some of these little tips and exercises help. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.